which means this, boys and girls. At some point in your life, you have to figure out what is easiest and what makes sense. Because decimals, fractions, and percents are all somewhat interchangeable. Okay, you need to figure out what's the easiest method to do. Now let me give you for examples. If you have this list of things, 20% of 1/4 of $12. First of all, the word of means. Okay. Really, you have the choice for this because you don't want to mix and match all of it. You want to change them all to something. Here's your first choice, which isn't an option, which would just be stupid, but let's do it. You could change them all to percents. 20% times 25% times 12 as a percent is, anybody?
1,200%.
There is hope out there, 1,200%. Now if you multiply all those together, anybody know what you get? Neither do I. That's why we never change the percent, because we don't do mathematical operations with percents. Okay? Wrong, you wouldn't do this. So we're left with either changing them to fractions or changing them all to decimals. Let's look at the fraction option. If I were changing them all to fractions, I don't know if you know this, 20% is a fraction, is something besides Ryan. Andrew? 1/5. How did you know that? Because it's 20 over 100. If you reduce 20 over 100, you get 1/5. Times 1/4 times 12 over 1, correct? That's all the fraction options. If you change them all to decimals, 20% as a decimal is, Ava? 0.20 or 0.2. 1/4 as a decimal is, Ms. Schwartz? $0.25 is how many cents? 0.25. And 12 as a decimal is just 12. So the book says, dear 7th graders, look at your two options and which one, although there's really not a wrong one of them is probably easier to do. In this case, anybody? So by the way, your answer is going to be in dollars, because that's what you figured out, 20% of 1/4 of $12. Again, no wrong way, and maybe somebody of you will be able to argue and say, well, I think this way, to me it's easier to do it that way. But to me, I would say, David, the best way is, to me, I would say the easiest way is, Ryan?
Fractions.
I would go fractions, and you can argue with me on the decimals, but if I look at this fraction-wise, okay, if I look at this fraction-wise, 1/5 times 1/4 times $12, okay, I end up with, wait, am I going with whatever? 12 divided by 20, which is, well, let's do this, boom, boom, 12 divided by 4 is 3, I get 3/5, and unfortunately I have to be able to change 3/5 into a dollar and cents, which is what? Anybody know what 3/5 is money? Maybe it is easier to go to decimals. It is 60 cents, very good. Okay. Although isn't it $6? 1/4 of that is, no, that's it. Alright, this one here, if you're doing a decimals, David, what would you do? So what are you going to do first? You wanted to do decimals. Do these two first? What is the answer to 0.2 times 0.25? You're right, this is easier. 0.2 times what is what? Ryan?
0.05.
Yeah, you have to multiply these together. You get 2 times 25 is 50, but it's 3 decimal places, so it's actually 0.05. And then you have to take 0.05 times 12, which is 60 cents. Now you might argue with me that that is easier. I don't, it doesn't matter to me, but I think the book is actually kind of getting at you to do this, where you could have taken whatever there. Let's look at another example, because I'm sure that one confused you beyond all that. The next one, how about this one? 33 1/3% times, or of 3/8 of $12. Now, let's take a moment to pause and just reflect here. Take a deep breath with me. I'm going to tell you, you don't have any choices on this one. Does anybody know why? Landon?
Because the percent was.
Alright, because 33 1/3% is what as a decimal? It's 0.3 repeater, yes. And can I ask you, how do you multiply 0.3 repeater by anything? You can't. So when you're given something that doesn't convert into a decimal without repeaters, your only option is to do what? Fraction, because 33 1/3 is what fraction? Right, so you gotta go 1/3 times 3/8 times 12 over 1. And then in this case it is, look, you can cross cancel, 3 goes into 3, 4 goes into those, 2, 3. 3/2, change the money is what?
No,
No. Do you kind of see what the book's getting at, children? Is it all clear to a child?